Magandang araw, Iconians! Good news! We at Informatics Manila will be having a sports festival. Exciting, and yes, you heard it right. What, when, where? Let's find out with our project proposal, beginning with our overview. The socio-anthropologic aspect of an individual, which includes cultural appreciation, significantly neglected. The connection to the socio-environmental is also affected. Their inability to commune with future results from the displacement of Philippine Games, which is a socio-historical markers with our great culture. The purpose of this sports festival is to promote, preserve, and assist people to appreciation laro ng lahi. The traditional games are reimagined in a way that can give young people to a fresh perspective of Philippine culture and environment. This aids in the preservation of the significant aspect of Filipino culture in our daily life. The laro ng lahi we choose are Jack and Poy, Luksong Pinit, Sipa, Patintero, Luksong Baka, and Tumbang Preso. Participants must be a BSIT students of Informatics Manila. The target of this event will be on October 8, 2022, sponsored by the Department of Health Calabarzon, Philippine Bank, and Bank of the Philippine Islands, Intramuros, Heliac Hotel, which is located at Pasay City, and Department of Education from Manila, and Space Ace Travel and Tours. Now, let's proceed with our objectives. To promote and remember the cultural games of our country, to develop unity and camaraderie among students of BSIT Informatics Manila, to ascertain and encourage the enthusiasm of the student of their service to the school, to develop trust and cooperation not only in the different games, to give the students a reason not to be hooked up in the technology, to promote the culture of the Philippine indigenous sports and games, to remember and play the laro ng lahi through sportsmanship. Through these objectives, the students can enjoy the sports festival. And for our next proposal outline will be discussed by Annie Magallanes.
Project beneficiaries, the BSIT students of Informatic College Manila. Project activities and timetable as follows. Opening program consists of opening prayer and flag ceremony at 7:30 to 8 a.m. Game time, Jack and Poy and Luksong Baka and Luksong Tinik. Then we'll proceed with the break time at 9:30 to 10. Then we'll proceed for the game time at 10 to 11:30 for the Patintero and Tumbang Preso. And for the closing program and awarding will be held at 11:30 to 12 noon. For the overall mechanics should be officially enrolled as BSIT with student number composed of 3 teams, which is first year, second year, and third year. For team color uniform, the first year should be green t-shirt, second year yellow t-shirt, and third year for the blue t-shirt. You kindly submit your team lineup 3 days before the event, and our call time will be at 6:38 in the morning. For rules and regulation of the traditional Filipino Games Sport Fest will be discussed by Gerald and Justin.
First game of our sport fest is Jack and Poy. Jack and Poy, from the word Jack and Poy, is the local version of rock, paper, scissors, or bato, papel at gunting. Though the origin of the spelling came from the American influence, The game is really Japanese in origin, Jaken. Jaken Poi is a game performed by two players. Both players simultaneously form the rock, paper, and scissors using their hand while singing the rhyme song. The rules of the game are just simple. The rock beats the scissors beat the papers, and paper beats the rock. Skills involved in the game: coordination, reaction time, focus, and concentration. The lyrics: Jack and Poy, hali-hali hoy, sino matalo siyang unggoy. The second game of our sports fest is Luksong Baka. Luksong Baka or Leap Jump Over the Cow is a popular variation of Luksong Tinik. One player crouches while the other players jump over them. The crouching player gradually stands up as the game progresses, making it harder for the other players to jump over them. A person becomes the it when they touch the baka as they jump. It will repeat continuously until the players declare the players or until the players decide to stop the game. Most of the time, once they get tired, it is a Filipino version of leapfrog. In choosing the first baka, all players must place a hand over another or palm down. And at the count of 3, they release their hands simultaneously, either showing palm up or down. The players who display a different position of the hand from the rest should be the first baka or it. The baka then assume his position at a designate or jump over spot. On the first level, he takes a crouching position and the rest of the players jump over. One after another, when all the players have jumped over, the baka raises his position a bit higher for the next level. He repeats this process until he reaches the standing position or until the jumper's error. The jumpers must spread their legs wide apart to avoid hitting the baka when they jump. The jumper who hits the baka will take the place of the baka, and the baka now becomes a jumper. When the level goes higher, the jumper may use his hand for balance by putting them together over the baka. And the third game is Luksong Tinik. Luksong Tinik or leap jump over the turn of a plant. Two players serve as the base of the tinik or turn by putting their right or left feet and hand together, sole touching, gradually building the tinik. A starting point is set by all the players, giving enough runway for the jump for the players to achieve the higher jump so as not hit the tinik. Players of the other team jump over the tinik, followed by that other team. If a player hits either hand or feet of the base player, tinik, he or she punished by giving him or her consequences. Two players of the base hit facing each other, putting a foot forward and touching the other player foot. Then each member of the other team start jumping over the pit. When all members are done jumping over the pit, the players on the base add a hand at the time. The palm and the fingers are opened wide above their feet. The same process repeated until the base player have filled their hands over. When all the jumpers have successfully jumped over without hitting the hands of the base player, the game is repeated with the jumpers leaping over. If the mother's children hits the hands of a base player, it's considered a fault or an error. The mother then jumps for the erring child. If the mother fails in making a successful jump, it's time to the base player to take the jump.
Okay, for the sequel of Mr. Justin Dave Mendoza explanation about the rules and regulation of the traditional Filipino game sport fest. And additional details about Patentero. Patentero is derived from the Spanish word tinta, tip or ink, reference to the drawn lines. And I will proceed to the mechanics of Patentero. The game starts with the toss of a coin to decide the team that becomes the passer of a runner. There's a time of 2 minutes of each team to score. Once the 2 minutes elapse, the two teams change sides and the guards become the passer and vice versa. The passers or runners are supposed to cross the lines from the starting point and back to the end of the point. The line guards are positioned and the vertical lines with one on the horizontal line of the grid, making sure their feet are always on the line. The patintero objectives of the line guards include tagging the passers or runners with their powered or butterfly hand and blocking them from passing the line. Once the guard tags and any of the passers, the line guards assume the position of the passer. And I have additional details about Tumbang Preso. Tumbang Preso is a unique traditional game with the Philippines that is a favorite among the Filipino children. And I will proceed to the mechanics of Tumbang Preso. The one of the guards that team can is chosen by throwing the kamato to the two line by all the players. However, kamato is farthest from the two line is the hit. The hitters will get ready and the back of the two line and at the signal from the hit game starts. The kamato will be received immediately once the can is knocked down. The hit will start putting it up inside the circle. The one tag becomes the hit. When the can is hit and falls outside, the circle but remains standing and it has the right to tag the hitter once the hitter leaves the two line. Then may hit it or knock down under when it is outside the circle. If a hitter is not able to reach his her kamato, the others can save her by hitting the can. And we'll proceed the type of tournament. The type of tournament, single elimination. Single elimination format is acquired by the ECS to organize. The name side is eat all. If a team loses one time, they are out of the tournament. This type of the tournament works best if you have a large number of teams and a short time frame. Single elimination tournaments don't work well for the matches that are very short in time. And lastly, our venue is Quezon City Memorial Circle. And for the budgeting is Ma'am Maylin Padilla. Thanks.
So for our budgeting, we need the following materials for our sport fest. First, we have the chalk for patintero worth 100 pesos. Next, we have the food for our snack worth 5,000 pesos. The certificates worth 500 pesos. The medals worth 500 pesos. The trophy worth 1,000 pesos. The balloons worth 300 pesos. The tarpaulin worth 1,500 pesos. The score sheets worth 200 pesos. The COVID kits care of from our sponsors. And then the cash prize, we have 5,000 pesos for the total of 15,000 pesos. Next is sponsors. We get our sponsors from our respective company. So from Department of Health, the company of Philip Jomar Monterola, Meralco Mandaluyong City, my company, Bank of the Philippine Island Intramuros, Manila, from Dave Mendoza's company, Department of Education, Manila, from Crisip May Magallanes Company, The Hyatt Hotel, from Gerald Riati Company, and then the Spade Ace Travel and Tours from Sarah Villar Company. Next is the committee. Persons in charge. Mylene Padilla, the program manager. Justin Dave Mendoza, the logistics. Annie Crisip Magallanes, budget personnel. Gerald Riate, game organizer. Philip Jomar Monderola for the awarding.
Okay. Benefits of Laro Nalai for the betterment of the community. First off, playing these largely physical games will encourage children to be active every day. Second, kids can develop social skills, particularly with others their own age, and make more friends. The third and most significant benefit is that they can discover the beauty of our culture, which has been handed down through the years, and help them preserve it for future generations to enjoy.
And that concludes with our project proposal. I hope to see you all there and have fun. Thank you and mabuhay!